high, that's why we so low key. She wanna fly with you, let's make three. I'll be your gold medal. Don't need a house tomorrow. Gotta leave without a mile.
Are discipline and motivation the same thing? And are they useful? Well, the biggest mistake everyone makes is thinking that they are the same thing or they're similar. But they are entirely different skills to learn. Discipline is your engine, while motivation is your fuel. And today, I'm going to show you how you can use both effectively. The basic definition for both of these is motivation is emotion-driven energy that you can use to complete a task, while discipline is action without emotion. With that in mind, it may seem easier to just use one or the other, but today I'm going to show you why you can't do this. And I'll reveal why this isn't actually good to do if you are trying to work towards a goal. Discipline and motivation have been coexisting since the start of existence. Our ancestors used it. For example, when we needed to hunt, we would get the motivation to do a hunt, and we would have the discipline to carry on even if we failed the hunt. But in the past couple of years, motivation has been deemed this lazy way of getting a goal done, and discipline has been said to be the be-all or end-all. So I'm going to give you an overview to why you can't just use one or the other. So motivation is a intense emotion, or can be an intense emotion, because it's not always just about being happy. Sometimes sadness can drive you to do a task. And it is good for getting the task started, but for long-term commitment it is just terrible. That's where discipline can allow you to carry on when you don't have the internal or external factors helping you get through. The biggest issue with motivation is how unsustainable it is, and I'm going to give you an example. So let's say you're wanting to start a business. You want to change the situation you are in and give your family the life they deserve and finally bring you to financial freedom. But you soon find you need a license for this business, and to get this license you need training. For this training you need to pay for it, and suddenly all the motivation you had is gone. And if you just learnt the skill of discipline, you would have been able to carry on through till the end. That's the weakness of motivation. It lets you start, but it doesn't let you finish. However, discipline can be just as detrimental to your progress, as the goal can become less about what you want and more about an obligation. I'll give you a personal example. So you decide to run a 10 mile at the end of this day, and throughout the day you've had no motivation to do anything, and everything has gone wrong. But despite this, you decide to go. And even if you got injured, it wouldn't matter, as long as you are doing the running. Because if you don't run, you'll have this insecurity creep in that you are not good enough. If you rely on discipline alone, you'll end up grinding for months without joy. You'll wake up one day and realise you're just pushing a boulder up a hill, and you can't even remember why you started. Motivation allows you to see whether this is the right path for you. So to conclude, discipline keeps you going when motivation fades, but when you don't have motivation, discipline just becomes a punishment. The issue is, people can go into autopilot with discipline. They can become a slave to their own mind. The lack of emotions causes the task to feel empty and to start to feel meaningless, as you don't have any emotions about the goal ahead. So you do them purely because you feel like you have to, not because you want to do it. Your freedom is taken away as your choice is taken away. It can become dangerous when you lose control of the situation. So instead of walking through, you are blindly trudging through this mud, and you're not knowing where you're going and why you're going there, but you're just going to do it anyway. And you're doing it because you have to. Eventually you'll reach a destination, but it won't be the one that you wanted to reach. Maybe that'll be an injury, burnout, or just simply doing a goal that you never even wanted to do. This is what happens when you let discipline take over your life. This can relate to men's mental health. What are men told to do? Don't feel emotions, just do it. Don't care, just do it. Don't wait to feel good about it. Now think about it. What happens when there is no longer any meaning? If that thing fails, what do they have to live for? It shows that discipline is a dangerous game if not played correctly, as people become more unaware of what they actually want to do in life. It can cause a lot of insecurity, as you feel like you're only good enough when you are working hard, and when you're actually taking a rest, you feel lazy. There is no middle ground. Your identity starts to resolve around these high expectations you've set yourself, and this is so you can reach the perfect identity. Make sure you remember this. If you're going to use discipline, make sure you have control of your actions and that they are meaningful towards your aspirations. This is why you need to start with discipline, and this is why it's your baseline and tool. It becomes the foundations, let's say, of a house. So if you have the foundations of a house, even without the furniture, you can still live there. So you can think of the furniture like motivation and the foundations as the house. You have somewhere to live, and it's somewhere where you can sleep, but it's just not a nice way of living. But you've got to have those foundations first before you can do anything else. It's what allows you to get something done without needing someone else as well. You got to think of it like, it's nice to have someone there, but would you be able to do the task without someone there? Or would you rely on them all the time? How much do you think you rely on external factors? So at the start of your journey, you'll want discipline to become an automatic response, almost like you can do it without thinking. But you've got to ensure you have that right motivation so you don't lose the meaning behind why you're doing it. Let me give you an example. You've had an awful day. Your boss was shouting at you for some reason, and you spilled coffee on you, and you just had a terrible day. And before all this, you set yourself a goal of running 5 miles. So with this discipline, you somehow find the energy to do these 5 miles despite everything that's happened to you during that day. So once you have your purpose set, you'll be able to master your self-discipline. The thing with discipline is it's not something to be afraid of. It's simply doing what you wanted to do originally. I talked about this in my Art of Discipline video. If you want to take a look at that, there'll be a link below. So you shouldn't let any outside factors stop that, whether that be people, emotions, even yourself. You should always do what you originally wanted to do, so you can live the life you actually want to live. That's why it needs to be established first, so it becomes natural to you. But I want to discuss now how you can make it easier for yourself to get towards your goal using motivation. Motivation allows you to have passion for the subject. It gives you the fuel to carry on, whether that be through joy or even sorrow, when your will has completely diminished. For example, music. Music allows you to carry on. It doesn't mean you can't do something without it. It just helps you get through the task. You wouldn't tell an officer in the army, oh, you shouldn't motivate your soldiers because what are they going to do when they're in battle? But it simply just makes the task more easier and meaningful. Motivation isn't a weakness, it's a strategy that even soldiers use. So my whole point is that motivation shouldn't be chucked away. You have to think of motivation like a nail. So motivation is the nail, discipline is the hammer. And alone they are useless, but together they can actually build something. Motivation is good for a second partner for discipline, so it can work up to its efficiency. So if it allows you to get to your results faster, why wouldn't you use motivation? Don't look at motivation like this dirty word you can't use. Think of it like using a tool to get you to your goal faster. Meaning you don't necessarily need it, but it just aids the whole thing. It makes everything a lot smoother. A lot of people say it's not good to be emotional and that you can make irrational decisions. But the thing is, if you have no emotional reason to do something, then why do it? If running a marathon doesn't evoke any strong emotions inside you, why do the marathon? At that point, you are punishing yourself rather than fulfilling your life goals. So I want to conclude this. If you use both of these tools, you'll be consistent and passionate. If you rely on one or the other, you'll be complacent and burnt out. So choose which one you want to do. I thank you for watching this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it.